don't know what to do with my hands. All right.
James, have you engaged with Scott since the lockout ended on Correa?
We're engaged on a lot of fronts. We're always looking for every opportunity to improve the roster, so we're pursuing as many of them as we can at the same time.
Is he still a priority?
I mean, a guy like Carlos Correa is always going to be a priority, but there are a lot of different ways that we can improve the roster, and we'll stay flexible and see what we can do.
Jim Crane said recently that he thought you guys would make another run at Carlos Correa. Will you guys make another run? Will you make another offer?
Jim and I have been talking about this daily, and we're not going to take anything off the table. We're going to continue to pursue every possible way to improve the roster and put us in the best position we can.
What's your plan at shortstop as it stands right now?
Our plan is to see what we got and assess over the course of camp.
What can you provide an update on McCullers? He had mentioned in another medium that he was a little bit behind. Do you think he'll be ready for opening day?
I need to wait until he gets here and we can get our hands on him and see how he's doing before I can make any kind of assessment on that.
With Verlander, with a pitcher coming off of Tommy John, usually there's a governor or a limit on him. What realistically could you expect from him innings-wise this year?
We're not taking anything off the table when it comes to Justin Verlander. He's going to be throwing a live BP here in about an hour. We're all excited to see how he's doing. All the reports have been exceptionally positive. We'll obviously have to monitor his workload through the course of the year, but I don't think we're going to put a specific number on exactly how much we're expecting from him.
What do you want to see out of something with him throwing today? Is there anything particular you want to see from him?
Just that he looks like himself. And if he does, and everything that we've seen so far, all the reports that we've gotten have been very positive. If he gets out there and looks like JV, then we're going to be exceptionally excited to have a Hall of Famer back on the team.
How many pitches?
I'm not sure. I'll have to check with him on that.
Who was your first call post-lockout?
Who was my first? I think you, Chandler.
No, it definitely was not.
I know that after the lockout that night, I did not have a single phone call that did not get interrupted by another phone call in the middle of it. It was a very busy night. There was a lot of conversations that night, the next night, and it stayed very, very busy. We have a lot of irons in the fire, and we'll see what we can do.
Where else are you looking to improve the club for opening day?
We're going to be flexible about that. We feel really good about the roster we have at almost every position, and so we might have to get a little creative in terms of how to improve the roster, but we have been focused on a little bit more depth, just making sure that we have coverage for 162 games.
How do you feel overall about just the roster, the state of the team? You guys haven't had, and obviously as you're saying, Correa could still be in play, but you haven't had any major signings, but part of that's because of the strength of the club, and you are, deep across the board. It's kind of an interesting position for you guys to be in.
Well, I would push back. I think Justin Verlander is a major signing personally. Hector Neris is somebody that we're obviously very excited about. We think he provides a tremendous amount of value in the bullpen in almost any inning, and that's one of the things that he said when he signed was that he's willing to pitch wherever we want him. He's a tremendous pitcher, and we think we have a lot of depth in the bullpen. We have a lot of depth in the rotation, and we feel really good about the position player group we have. So it is a roster that we feel very good about, and so when I say that we might have to be creative and flexible in terms of trying to find ways to improve it, it's because our players have put us in a good position to have very good options at almost every position.
How are some of the rule changes are going to affect this year? The new CBA affect roster construction? I guess I'm thinking of the minor league option. You can only option a guy 5 times. You guys, I think you had 8 guys last year that you optioned more than 5 times.
I would have to check on that. I don't think it's going to have a major impact in the way that we handle the roster over the course of the season, but it will be a learning process as we get used to these rules and how they affect our decisions.
Have you had a chance yet to know if anyone's going to be limited injury-wise, or as they come into camp today, anyone that had anything lingering or had something happen this offseason health-wise?
No, we're rapidly getting everybody in here, getting them through their physicals, getting trainers' eyes on them. So at this time, no, we don't have any assessments on that, but we'll know more over the next 24 to 48 hours.
What is this whole process like? I mean, every team's dealing with it, but it's different, it's chaotic. Dusty's kind of been through this before, but not exactly this type of situation.
Well, for better or worse, we've had a few months to get ready for planning for the sprint that we're in right now, and so we're putting a lot of that work in play right now. You bring up Dusty. I think having that kind of experience, having been through these kind of things before, is tremendous for the team. But for the most part, our coaches and players have done everything they can to stay ready, and so far, knock on wood, Sorry. No hiccups on the logistics side.
Are you ever going to have a normal start to a spring training? I mean, 2021, they've all kind of been.
I'm looking forward to it whenever it happens.
How Correa switched representation during the lockout? I guess you guys have probably done some legwork with his previous rep. How does that change at all your approach to him when he's got a completely different representation? You couldn't contact him during the lockout with a representation.
I mean, each agent is different, and they all have their different styles, and so it has some effect in terms of just the way that the conversations go. But by and large, I don't think it's anything that I've put a lot of time and thought into.
Are there any players in your roster bugging you about getting him back here?
I think some of them are bugging Twitter on getting him back here.
When will you guys announce Goodrum and Lewis Brinson's here too, I believe?
Yeah, Lewis Brinson is here. That's we have signed him. We're finalizing the terms here. We're excited to see what he brings in terms of depth in the outfield, athleticism. I just got to meet him for the first time. He's in tremendous shape. Comes as advertised. Goodrum will have to wait until things are official before we have any comment.
Brinson's a minor league deal, right?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Non-roster invite.
Yep.
Brinson, that was?
Lewis Brinson. Yeah. Non-roster invite. Yep.
Anybody else with big league starting like that? Do you have any other minor league deals?
We'll keep you posted on that.
The Verlander deal came together rather quickly, which I'm assuming you were somewhat close before the lockout, or is that it was kind of like putting it all together?
Well, yeah, it was finalized before the lockout and submitted to the league and to the Players Association for approval. Sometimes it takes a little time to read through the fine print on those, and that portion of the review process bled into the lockout, and so that's why there was a delay in the official announcement and confirmation.
A lot of the changes this new CBA. Is there anything you personally particularly liked?
That we have it.
DH in both leagues, you like that?
To be honest, it's been talked about for so long that it wasn't a surprise, and so I don't think that I've put a whole lot of stock in, or a whole lot of thought into how that's going to affect things. If I were a National League team, probably would have put a lot more thought into it. But for our day-to-day, it doesn't change roster construction terribly too much.
Is there more? I mean, obviously, a lot more National League teams looking for bats out there. I guess it changes from that aspect, right?
I would imagine. It's not a conversation that we've had with any of them.
What about the thought of banning the shift?